Hello everyone, welcome to Stilt video series. When it comes to getting your US citizenship, there are various interesting yet fairly complicated roundabouts that you are required to go through. For instance, US natives work with a fair number of people who weren't born in the US but still have US citizenship. However, in order to reap the benefits of a citizen, such as taking out a non-US citizen loan, you still have to prove that you are a citizen of the United States of America. This all starts with Form N600. What is Form N600? Form N600 is a document that has been issued by USCIS, or U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. It is a form that allows certain people who became U.S. citizens automatically through their direct family to prove their citizenship by using a certificate of citizenship. The technical terms for receiving this citizenship are either acquisition or derivation. Acquisition happens when someone is born out of the U.S. from parents that have U.S. citizenship. Derivation happens when the parents of a child that are green card holders finally manage to gain U.S. citizenship. Bear in mind that the N600 is not designed for people who have a green card already and are planning to get their citizenship through naturalization. That is an entirely separate process that will require you to file the N400 form. However, this one applies to the children of those who have parents or grandparents citizens of the U.S. This can grant you citizenship so that you may receive something as simple as a loan in a circumstance where banks generally do not provide for non-U.S. citizens. Who is eligible for Form N600? You may be able to demonstrate that you are a citizen of the United States if you provide the following documents: FS-240 or Certificate of Birth Abroad, U.S. Birth Certificate, U.S. Passport, U.S. Certificate of Citizenship, Certificate of Naturalization. If you were born overseas but you already believe that you are a citizen of the United States, you may apply for a U.S. passport at the U.S. Department of State. The passport is proof of your citizenship and will also serve as travel documentation for when you wish to get out of the country. If you need a replacement for your Certificate of Naturalization or Citizenship, the Form N600 will not be helpful in this scenario. However, you should file Form N565 that requests a replacement of that application. Required documents for Form N600. Generally speaking, every required document in regards to the Form N600 should be mentioned on the USCIS website. However, considering that every person is different, you should discuss these matters with an immigration attorney. They will tell you precisely what documents you will need to send and what you are safe to leave out. Here are the documents that you are required to bring regardless of your circumstances. 2 passport-type photographs of the child that needs the certificate of citizenship. The birth record or certificate of the child. Evidence that the parents or grandparents have U.S. citizenship. The birth certificate of parents or grandparents. Bear in mind that while both parents should have U.S. citizenship, this certificate can be given even if only one parent has said status. In some cases, the attorney will advise you of any extra documentation that you have to bring, such as proof of physical custody or evidence of legitimation for children that were not born in wedlock. You should not send any original documents unless it was specifically requested that you do so. You have to provide verified copies, and if needed, translated verified versions of those copies. Failing to provide these documents might lead to your application being denied. How to fill out an N600. Submission instructions are always found on the USCIS website, where you can also download the form. Make sure that you include all the information necessary so that your request is not denied due to the omission of information. The beginning of the form will contain information about your eligibility. It will include boxes that you will have to check, such as whether you are a biological child of a U.S. citizen or if you've been adopted. Special circumstances should also be explained, and depending on the circumstance, you might have to attach separate statements as well. An immigration attorney could prove very helpful here. After that, the form will contain information about you, your immigration history, your personal data, your physical contact with the U.S. Everything will be addressed in the form. There is a total of 13 sections, but bear in mind that Part 12 or 13 should not be completed by you. Part 12 is for when you are asked to give an interview, whereas Part 13 should only be completed by USCIS. N600 cost. When it comes to Form N600, the filing fee is $1,170 for most citizens. Since every person might have different requirements, it is recommended that you use a fee calculator to determine exactly how much you have to pay. Those who are veterans or members of the U.S. Army are exempt from paying this fee. You need to bring proof that you went through military service. Otherwise, you will have to pay the filing fee. N600 processing time. If you want to find out how long it generally takes for your local USCIS office to make a decision on your N600, you may want to visit the USCIS page designed specifically for this. Depending on the case and the place, it might take from 5 to 7 months. How and where to submit Form N600. When it comes to submitting your Form N600, you can do it online by filing an electronic application, or you may do it by mail, using a standard paper application. Online addresses are most recommended, particularly for those that are applying outside of the U.S. The addresses are given on the USCIS website depending on your filing method. Tips for completing Form N600. Filing the N600 may be a rather complicated procedure, particularly if you're doing it for the first time. In order to ensure that it all goes flawlessly, here are some tips that you might want to consider. If possible, fill out the form on the computer. If that's not a possibility, write out every answer in black ink. If answers are not applicable, fill the place as NA or simply write none. All answers should be contained inside the boxes or in the lines provided in the form. This will keep your answers much easier to follow. Refrain from highlighting a text or crossing out answers that do not apply to you. Simply stick to the answers that do apply. Do not use correction fluid either, the whiteout technique. If you've made prior mistakes on your form, simply complete a new form. For this reason, you should print out more than one form so that you have a spare one at hand. If you are adding separate pages as attachments because you didn't have enough room, make sure that you have the question number on the page, as well as your name in full. You should also date and sign every attachment that you make. Immigrant attorneys can be very helpful when filing the N600. While they might seem like an unnecessary expense, they will ensure that everything is done correctly. This will lower your chances of having your request denied due to a simple mistake. Be honest and clear about every answer that you give. If the USCIS agents feel that you are withholding information from them, there is a chance that they will reject your application. Do not send any original documents, you won't be getting them back. Bear in mind that you only have one chance to file the N600, so if your application gets rejected, you should immediately appeal. A lawyer can be very helpful, especially if your parents already filed an N600 on your behalf that was unsuccessful. How to check your N600 processing status. You may also check the processing status of your case by going to the My Case status setup by USCIS. There, you enter the tracking number you received on your receipt notice, and you will be told exactly which stage the application has reached. If you did not get a receipt notice even after a few months have gone by, you might want to contact USCIS regarding this matter. The N600 is a very efficient way for you to get your citizenship, in case your parents are already citizens of the United States. You just have to ensure that you follow all the steps properly, because you might only get one chance. However, our guide managed to bring you some answers regarding the N600. Ideally, you should work closely with an immigration attorney to ensure that your application does not get denied. We hope this video has been helpful to you. At Stilt, we provide financial services for immigrants and the underserved. Subscribe to our channel and visit stilt.com for more details.